a lot of these YouTubers and streamers are starting to get sued for a lot of disparaging things that they say about people online. This young girl now and her mother is coming against DJ Akademiks, and they're filing a defamation lawsuit against him for some things that he said about her. Now, a lot of these young streamers got very, very large platforms that expands way far. And when you make comments about certain people, right, you know, people begin to have preconceived notions about these people. You can mess up their careers, job opportunities. There's a lot of things that you can mess up when you start running your mouth about people's business or just saying things that may not be true. Check this out.
When women put out an idea that they have these unrealistic expectations of men is because they're into escorting culture. You and your homegirls are into escorting culture. Did you escort recently for Trippie Redd? I'm here to hopefully have a conversation that we can make a conclusion.
No. Why is that even coming out your mouth? It's 20 different girls on that trip. Like, he's celebrating his album thing. When I did the stream with him, I did a stream with him. He invited me to Turks. He was like, hey, you can come, you can bring whoever you want. He was on some cool shit. It was nothing like that. So for you to get up here, that's what I'm saying.
That's what the new escorting experience is. Bring your friends. Bring your friends for this free trip that I'm hoping will turn into something romantic or intimate. Yeah, that's how escorting works.
Nobody did. What are you talking about? What?
So a lot of people be on, you know, we live in the days and time now where everything is fake and phony. And everything is about perception of how you could be perceived. This young girl was online talking about if a man doesn't make $100,000 a month, she won't date him. You know, all the stuff that all these young girls is copying the same stuff that they hear other women say. And we know that it's not realistic because 99.9% of these women don't even have access to those kind of men. They're not even in those same type of circles. They don't even come from those type of communities. They can't even get in those rooms for the most part. Right? We already know that. But again, the delusion of what the internet produces, on the internet, you could be the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. You can look like a little bit of something and you can put out the illusion. Now, this woman doesn't have a large following on YouTube or Twitch. On Instagram, she has 100K following, but she's not really well known. So when DJ Akademiks heard her talking like that, and then they was going to a Trippie Redd boat party or party, whatever it was he was having for his album release, he assumed that they was just going up there to sell cooch, like a lot of these other women do, these OnlyFans women do. And because, you know, we living in the days and time now where these young girls have no shame at all. They don't care. You know, they selling their stuff online, on X, everything. I'm talking about coochie dripping everywhere, right? With their faces. They don't, it's no more shame, no care, no nothing. They doing whatever they want to do. So, Akademiks assumed this. So with that being said, she called up to the show to defend her honor, and it went like this.
That she did, and that's what you're trying to imply that she did. She's never done that. She's never done that in the past. She didn't do that, and she's not doing that in the future. So for you to get on the internet and say that, you're implying that she's an escort. You are defaming her character. Now, she sent you a letter, a cease and desist letter. She didn't have to go to ChatGPT. She's well educated. I know some of y'all internet people gonna be like, oh, she went and got her mama. No, she didn't go get shit. It's the shit is all over the internet. So she didn't have to come get nothing. I'm speaking up on mine because who the hell else gonna speak up on? Just because a lot of y'all out here who ain't got parents and shit, somebody come from a good background. So I'm gonna get on this and I'm gonna address it, and it's gonna be the last time that somebody gonna address anything. And then from then on, we gonna let lawyers do the talking. Since you don't know, since you want to run your mouth, you don't know what the hell you talking about. At the end of the day, in the state Commonwealth of Virginia, there ain't no cap on punitive damages when it comes down to defamation per se. There's no cap. You better ask about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard and why they tried their case in the state of Virginia. So, be careful with your words. You entitled to any opinion you want to have, and that goes for anybody who's going to leave a little raggedy ass comment. I don't give a about none of that. Y'all can say, oh, the apple don't fall too far from the tree, or it's the reason why her mama must be the reason. Y'all don't know me, you don't know somebody, and I don't give a about nothing y'all talking about. Because at the end of the day, Samaya, a young girl, she having fun.
Now, the Milagro case with Megan Thee Stallion has set the precedent because, a lot of YouTubers are looked at as media as well. Now, in order for the defamation to set in, you have to first set the cease and desist. And the thing is, once they send a cease and desist, if he keeps on intimating that she's a an ex-worker, or prostitute, and this is not true, now he could be in trouble. Now the defamation can set in, right? So the mom, she's just laying the groundwork because, like I said, listen, man, we all, I'm 50 years old, but I grew up in the 90s, man. I grew up in the early 90s, the late 90s, the 2000s. We was out in the street having fun, man. You had party girls, party dudes. Everybody was doing their thing. So I'm not going to be a hypocrite and look at this young girl and say, oh, man, look at her. We was doing the same thing. They learned it from us, right? It's just that they got social media today. I'm not going to sit here. We're not going to sit here and just be hypocrites. We didn't have a social media. We had social media. A lot of y'all will be running and hiding with the stuff that y'all was doing. Because y'all know me, I done told all the stories already. I done spilled the tea on your mama and your daddy and what we was doing in 1991, 1992, what we was doing back in the day. So all I'm saying is, people out here, they doing them, they having fun. Listen, Akademiks, if you ain't got no proof, you shouldn't really be putting that out there on your platform. But he responded to this, and said this.
Them comments start getting to her. Start getting to her. The comments start getting to her. Torturing her. Again, it's not me. Chat. She went to Chat GPT and wrote up a whole cease and desist saying she's planning to sue me. Kid you not. She sent it from her DM, sent it to her. Kid you not. But, and the fun, I was like, whoa. She was like, yo, you have, like, you're fucking up my money and you have people believing a false thing about me. And I'm like, there's many different issues there, right? There's many different issues. I accuse her of participating in what I call escort culture. If that is defamation, I don't know. But okay. She claimed that being an escort was an illegal thing. No, that's not necessarily true. Prostitution is illegal. But if escorting becomes prostitution, if you're getting paid for it, never said she got you. But that's really here and there. She sent me this whole legal document. No lawyer listed. It says pro se. That's how I know she went to Chat GPT. It was ironic because I felt like that was even hell proving a point. She said, "You're f***ing up my money by exposing this culture that my behavior could be associated with." What does that tell you already? But okay. Ultimately, and I could tell, like, this is one of the reasons why you don't really engage with these people, but they love to act like they want to engage. So I asked her because she's actually DMing me, right? I say, hey girl, listen, we're adults. I remember I felt bad. I seen her out. She was getting teary-eyed and stuff. And that's how all these loudmouth chicks are. Right? Like they'll be like, they'll call you the most vile stuff, you respond, but you start breaking down. Like if you're break down their psyche, you break them down completely, because usually the nasty, vile things they say to you is only a facade of a very fragile ego and also a fragile, insecure person. So I even told her, I said, listen, it wasn't even that big of a deal. I really got nothing against you. You just made it personal. You sent them tweets at me. Like, I really made a general statement, even though, yeah, you were involved in that video that I reacted. And I asked her, I say, yo, listen, we're adults. And by the way, I hear people keep saying she's 20. I know she's 20 or 21, whatever.
Now, her act was having a back and forth on Twitter. Now, this young girl, she's very pretty, very young, about 20, 21 years old. And at one time, Floyd Mayweather tried to holler at her. He tried to clap them cheeks. And people were saying that she was young and he was grown. Let me tell you something, man. That girl grown and she outside. And she doing grown-up stuff. The same way we was. We was grown and we was outside doing grown-up stuff. So I ain't dealing with all that because she's a grown-up. I'm dealing with the fact that if she's not doing something that they're alleging that she is doing, then that's wrong. Then it is defamation. Then you are, whatever it is that she's trying to do, you're messing up her bag because you're messing up her reputation. Because then people may have this idea about her that she's not. So that's what I'm dealing with. 21 years old, you outside having sex, whatever it is that you're doing grown-up stuff, then that's what you're doing, right? So what she did was she listed a list of demands on Akademiks, and it wasn't crazy. She didn't ask for like $10 million, SL Benz. She didn't ask for all that kind of stuff. She just asked that send her a public apology, take the video down that was intimating that she was a ex-worker, right? Those are the things that she was asking. So Act responded and said this.
I asked her, I say, hey, listen, what's your number? I'll get on the phone with you, like, just talk to you and be like, yo, Usually when people send a cease and desist, they're hoping you're not going to keep dragging it. That's basically the admitting the white flag that, hey, listen, people are starting to maybe reflect some thoughts based on our conversation about me, and this could be something that's not good for me. Could you not keep dragging it? Bro, I don't have, no one wakes up and says, what is Somalia doing today? No. So yeah, there's no malintent. There's no, I don't want to drag it or nothing like that. So I say, let's get on the phone. And here's what my proposition was going to, no. So I said, give me your number. So I'm saying, I want to get on the phone. Instantly. And this should tell you all you want to know. Remember, she sent me this chat GPT cease and desist. I'm like, oh my God, I could tell she's so triggered. She's blah, blah. She's trying to type all legal now. She's like, calling me a thought is one thing, but accusing me of doing that and saying I'm getting flued out to get piped. Okay, I'll read y'all the whole thing later. And I'm like, yo, all right, listen, we could be adults. It's fine, all right? And really, so I'm like, give me the number. She misconstrues me asking for her number as me asking, like, for what number in monetary sum would I settle before we get to litigation? Yo, chat, it's always about the moolah. It's always about money with these people. So I'll give her some credit, though. She didn't, just give me a number. She was just like, hey, where I'm ready to go ahead, blah, blah, blah. But also, I just care my reputation. I don't necessarily want exactly money, but yeah, you've hurt me. We didn't get anywhere. She was just like, I'm just hoping you could do a few things. And she had a list of demands. She said, could you not call me that word again? Not too sure if I called her the word, even though I did admit that I said she participated in that culture, but maybe I did, who knows? But she was like, could you please not talk about me with that again? Okay. I'm not talking about her every day. Cool, whatever. Hey, the videos you have is getting clipped all over the place. Well, I thought, based on her Instagram likes and all that stuff, I thought she was this huge streamer. It wasn't until Big AJ told me later, it was yo, she doesn't get that many views.
So this social media stuff could be used for good and can also be used for bad. And when you have young people with access to this kind of stuff, man, they just take it and just run with it and just do all kinds of wild stuff. And this is what you get with the internet today. This is what you see, right? A lot of young people just doing a whole bunch of irresponsible, stupid stuff. The same way we was irresponsible and stupid when we were very young, but we didn't have the internet. Well, this generation is more irresponsible and stupid, right? And they got the internet. So they do a whole bunch of dumb stuff. So they had a conversation, and they was going back and forth on Twitter, and she ended up posting that conversation online for people to see. And it made it seem like Act was trying to get them cheeks, right? Trying to get her number to get them cheeks. So now that was, I guess, her get back at getting at him for saying that she was an ex-worker and, putting that stuff out there. So when Act got wind of this, he has to show off to his audience, and he ended up saying that, well, if she sues him, he's going to sue her, too, for defamation because she called him LGBTQ, right? And now it's just going crazy.
If you go to her Twitter, I only responded to her, and then she damn near invited herself onto my stream. And I agreed, you're right. But she sent out a tweet. You gay bitch. I was going to say, if you remove your tweet where you're calling me homosexual, I'm not. You're saying these things about me, very disparaging things. I could be a little, Karen and say, oh, you defamed me, right? I'm not homosexual. We could pull up the tweet. Let's pull it up. Right? I could do that. I could do it. Right? This gay bitch. Oh yeah, I can't see it. Let me go back to this. This gay bitch I'm not gay. You're calling me a bitch. That's inflicting emotional distress. I could play all these games. I could play all these games that she's trying to play. You're the kind of woman that people need to stay away from gossip and fat. Yeah, I could play. So I was going to have this grown-up discussion and say, hey, listen, even when we were on that call, you gave a lot of ad hominems. I let them roll off my shoulder. Let's be very clear. Legally, you don't have much room to stand on. I'd wrap you up in legal court. I'm no stranger in paying for lawyer fees, and I'm only talking for civil. But if it gotta be, it gotta be. Who gives a fuck?
You know, back in the day, I remember we used to be on the phone like 1990, 1991. We used to always say, I can't wait till they had cameras on these phones where we can see each other. I can't wait till, like, we used to call the things that exist now into existence. We just didn't know what it was. But we used to always say, we can't wait till we have, TVs on, on our phones, or like on those computers where you could talk to people. Right? Because I remember you just went to computers back then just to do like your homework or like play a game on a computer or something like that. But now it's turned into a world wide web. And we used to say, yo, we can't wait. You be on the phone with somebody, and we used to do all the stuff that's happening now. We used to ask for it to come into existence. So I'm saying all that to say, I come from a generation where I watched this be birthed. I watched this come in, right? I lived a whole life damn near when this didn't exist, and now I see it. People like my children and them, this is the world that they know. They wasn't born. They don't know another world outside of this digital world. I do. So for me, what I do is I try to use it correctly because I could see the good and the bad within it because I lived a life before it existed, right? So now I'm using it strictly to make money. Right, because this is the technological age, and this is the world we're going into. So now I'm using it to make money, but like I always say, I'm not a YouTuber. I do YouTube because I still maintain my mind. I still understand what this is. Where these young people today, they lost all sense of reality, all sense of reality. They are totally digital babies, and they care nothing about nobody. They're like robots. They have no compassion, empathy, nothing. The same way a robot would. They don't care nothing about nobody but themselves and what in their personal gain. And this is what the social media has done to a lot of these digital babies. All they care about is clicks and likes and getting adoration from strangers. That's all they care about, and they're willing to do anything for it. That's why you got a lot of young girls online, all on Twitter and Reddit, fingering and dildoing their coochies everywhere with their face showing. They have no shame. They don't care because they're digital babies. And this is what the internet has done. It psychologically conditioned you to not have any shame or for anything. And that's the world that we're living in now. And because I'm a little older and I came from a world before the internet existed where you still had garden tools out here, women doing things and dudes out here, but there was still shame. You still hid your stuff, right? But the internet has socially engineered you to just open up to the world with no care at all. And this is what you have with the young girl Samaya and Akademiks. Neither one of them care. All they care about is the way they're perceived in media. That's it. And they're willing to sacrifice their integrity for anything. That's the world that we're living in today. That's the world we live in today. So I'm going to cut it there, man. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button, subscribe to Street Media TV. Leave your comments in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. And remember, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace.